In today's show. Oh, crap. I went to the wrong place. I want that Wheaties box. All right, let's start the show.
Oh, now I'm sad.
Welcome into Rip City Retro. It is your shoot first, small forward, Rich Finley. It's good to see you guys. Truth be told, this is the second time I'm trying to record this episode. I recorded one yesterday, and hi, by the way, good to see everybody. If you don't know, Eric, Brant, and I did a new episode of Rip City Retro. It got like the second most views in the history of the channel, which is kind of crazy. We got 40 new subscribers. Like, you guys remember how crappy this show was, right? Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Then, like, don't go having expectations over here. Okay. But anyway, as I informed you guys, I have been struggling with brain damage. Now, if you watched the show years ago, you might be sitting here thinking, yeah, and that's a fair point. But no, seriously, I've been dealing with brain damage, and something that I realized when I tried to do an episode yesterday was having Eric, who kind of come up with a top 10 list of all the Blazer stories that I missed, and Eric just kind of throw the stories at me, and then I respond, and then he move on to the next story. Like, that kind of structure was really good for me. And when I tried to do a show for you guys on my own, it did not go well. As I said in the previous episode, it was grandma digging around in the garage for boxes and stuff. So it was not pretty. So today's episode, I'm going to respond to all of your comments from the previous video that Eric and I put out. And I also want to ask you guys for a big favor because I need your help. No, go ahead and no, take that off the screen. That is not what I was referring to. Okay, well, maybe we can put it in the bottom left-hand corner. Okay, thank you. If you want to donate to the show, to help the process, like, brain injuries are expensive. So, thanks. Okay. Now, what I wanted to truthfully ask you guys was, of all the Blazer channels that are out there, this one is the best one that I host. Okay, so there are a lot better channels, obviously, if you want to get your Blazer news, if you want to get breakdown of games, if you want to get trade talk and salary cap information, you want to get breakdowns of games and things like that. Like, they're much better channels than this crappy place. But what I want this place to become is really your show. So I want you guys to be executive producers in this show with me. So what will help me in my brain injury, and this is serious. I'm 100% serious here. What will help me is if you guys give suggestions for topics. And it doesn't have to be like something that's a long form episode that I do with Eric, but just like, what are your top 3 this in Blazer history? And it can be anything. It can be like top 3 favorite shots in Blazer history, top 3 I mean, it can be like anything. It doesn't have to be top 3, it doesn't have to be top 5, 10, anything like that, but just whatever you guys want to talk about. You can venture outside of the Blazers a little bit if you want, but let's keep it, let's be reasonable a little bit. Yes, thank you. I understand. See, it's not always Blazer talk here. So if you guys would help me with that, I really want to turn this channel into just selfishly your guys' channel. Okay? So whatever you want to talk about, that's what I'll deal with from episode to episode. And then Eric and I will take our big video ideas from your suggestions. But these little videos that I do here where I kind of update you on what's going on with the Blazers or what I think about what's going on with the Blazers, like, I really want to respond to your comments and have some fun back and forths with you guys. So your questions are going to drive that direction. So if you would do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk real quick about, well, the big news this week. Well, there's two things that we can talk about. So Rip City Retro has been back, and the Blazers have played 2 games since Rip City Retro has been back. And how we do in those games? Oh, okay, great. That's not helping my self-esteem. I'll try to do better. So the Blazers have gone 0-2 on their recent road trip. They lost a game in Boston in which they played a horrible first quarter. And then they were playing catch up the entire game. Shaden had some questionable moments in the fourth quarter. Denny Avdia didn't play because they wanted to sit him out because you want to have him for Washington because the next night we're going to go to Washington and obviously lose. And that's what we did, which was really, really disappointing. And now we're 0-2 on this trip. And now we play at New York on Friday. So, yay. And speaking of New York, which isn't the greatest segue ever, but New York has been involved in a lot of trade talk. I don't know if you've heard, but Giannis Antetokounmpo has requested a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, we all kind of knew that it would probably come to that, but it was a little surprising when it finally happened, kind of like when it happened with Dame, obviously. And there's been all this talk of, well, Milwaukee, I mean, if they're going to trade Giannis, they have to get their draft capital back, right? I mean, they've got all these picks. So if New York is going to make this trade, Portland is going to have to give Milwaukee their draft picks back. And like every trade that's being talked about seriously, well, I won't say every trade, but a lot of trades that are being talked about seriously involve us as facilitators. Facilitators. And look, I may have a brain injury, but I think I remember in math, the quickest path between 2 points is a straight line. That is not what we're doing. Everybody wants to do this with us right now. And I started thinking about it, and it's almost like there's this beautiful girl, right? And she's saying, I want to go out with a guy who has a full head of hair and has a nice car. Okay? Like she's from the 70s, by the way. So, but she's like, I want those 2 things. Okay. And yourself, you're thinking to yourself, you're like, hey, I have a nice head of hair. I have a nice car. I don't. I have a nice car. And I should ask her out. And then your dirtbag buddy from, New York or from San Francisco, like, like it comes over and says, hey man, can I borrow your car? I want to take her out. And then you're just like, oh gosh, I mean, I really wanted to take her up here and try to gas it up. Premium. That's what we're being asked to do. We have the tools. This is crazy to me. Now, obviously, does Giannis want to play in Portland? All of that, I get that. And I get that there are logistics to that. How much Milwaukee is really going to care about what Giannis wants when he's already said that he wants to get traded? I mean, it's very tough talk. Like, we want to honor the greatest player in the history of our franchise, but, and I do understand that players around the league, they do pay attention to how you treat your greatest players. Looking at you, Portland. So those things are important around the league. I get that. But with all this talk of like what Milwaukee needs to make this trade, and then I look at us and I'm like we have everything they want, like, and need. This is a little kooky to me. I mean, am I the only one? Like, you guys find this weird, right? Like, it's just so bizarre how, like, I don't even hear us being talked about as dark horse contenders for this thing. Okay. And there's a part of me where I'm almost like, no, like, just stay home. Don't facilitate this. Don't make this happen. But then you start to think, okay, He's going to be moved. He's not going to come here. If we can get ourselves involved, maybe not give up the farm for Mikhail Bridges, who, by the way, we used to want to give up the farm for Mikhail Bridges. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Trust me, I know. Giannis, Mikhail Bridges, like very, very different. It's kind of like this show and every other show. Okay. But like all this Giannis talk has just really had me a little perplexed. And then they want to bring in, oh, and Giannis would really like to play with Drew Holiday again. It's like, what? Like, you're just rubbing our nose in it now. Giannis would like to play in a city that's known for its roses. Like, oh, stop it. You're just trolling us at this point. Right? Ugh. Anyway, so those are my thoughts on Giannis. That is my deep Giannis analysis trade talk. Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of what I think. Do I think we're going to get involved? Probably. Yeah. Kind of sounds like we'll get involved. But I would love for us to just like come out and say, no, we we have the full head of hair in the nice car. And we'd like to take her out. Like, reminds me of a story. When I was growing up, there was a kid that I grew up with. He was 2 years older than me. Well, he still is. His name is Chris. And my parents got divorced when I was 12. And my dad started dating Chris's mom when I was 13. So Chris was 15. And I'll never forget, Chris asked me, pudgy little me, he asked me, he was like, Richie, who you got a crush on? And he always kind of fashioned himself as a ladies' man and stuff like that. And I ended up telling him who I had a crush on. And she was in my class. So, I mean, it wasn't like she was older or anything like that. And I told him who I had a crush on. And he goes, oh, yeah, her. He's like, yeah, she's hot. She's hot. He's like, but I think she would be more interested in someone like me. And I think you just need to, just kind of lower your standards a little bit, you know? And I mean, I just sat there at 13. I was like, oh, okay. Chris is enormous now, by the way. Hi, Chris. So, yeah, that's what this situation feels a little bit like to me. It's like, no, or no, this is not for you. No, Giannis would be more interested in a team like us. And I just hate it. I hate all this talk. Okay. So, with all that said, hello. Welcome to Ripsy Retro. My name is Rich Finley. We are a Gen X-ish channel talking about all things Blazers, a little bit of the NBA overall, a little bit of pop culture, like whatever you guys want to talk about. Again, like I said, you guys are the executive producers of this show, and I am not going to talk at you. I like talking with you. So I said before, we got like 40 subscribers based off the last episode. Blew my mind, which is not hard to do. And I was really touched by that. And I really want to like cast an eye towards like trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think right now we're at like 773, 772. Somebody just clicked off to be funny. Stop it. But I think if we get to 1,000, like maybe we can tinker around with the idea of doing some live shows. That kind of makes me uncomfortable because I never know like when I'm going to be having a good day or a bad day when it comes to my brain injury. So, but I think if we hit 1,000 subscribers, like maybe I can hop on here every once in a while for a live show. It makes me nervous to think about, but I would like to try. So let's try and get those subscriber numbers up. Obviously, as I said before, all joking aside, but you can donate to the channel. It really does help me a lot. It's been really expensive the last 3 years with this brain damage and all of the things that it means for the future and blah, blah, blah. So if you want to help, there's ways in the description below or either of the two options to your left-hand corner. Otherwise, the easiest way to support the channel is to click like on this video and share it with any friends if you think they would like this slop. So without further ado, let's get into your comments from the video that Eric and I did the other day. So we're going to start with Horvaton. Okay. Horvaton said, glad to see Rich again. Thanks, Horvaton. I appreciate it. By the way, your name, it sounds like it sounds like a dirty transformer. You know, just a Horvaton. Like just you understand what I'm saying, right? I mean, but I love the name. So but glad to see Rich again. Thank you so much. This channel deserves more love now that y'all are back. Well, I don't know if we deserve more love. Eric Brandt can always get more love, but me, I mean, I appreciate the love though. I don't know if I deserve it. Let's go to Benji. 2711 said, coming from Blazers Uprise, great video. Hey, thanks, Benji. That's a good boy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Autograph 415. Autograph said, holy hell, I didn't realize it's been over 2 years. Yeah, it's been over 2 years. 2.5 years, actually, Autograph, since I was doing regular videos. If you guys missed it, I'll just, like, very quickly, it just got so difficult with my brain injury because it really kicked in, like, around September of 2023, and then it just, like, it got worse and worse, and it got to a point where I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't feel like myself. I'm rambling way too much. I can't focus. My memory's bad. Like, and all that is still in place, quite frankly. It's actually worse than it was when I stopped doing shows 2 years ago. But I just recently got a really bad diagnosis that it's progressive. And so this is just going to get worse. This channel is just going to be flowers for Algernon at some point. And if you're asking yourself, flowers for what? Then I apologize for your school system, I guess. But no, it's Flowers for Algernon. It's an amazing book. It's about a guy who injects himself with something, and he's also there's a mouse that's also injected with the same thing, and the mouse gets super smart, and then the guy injects himself with it, and he gets super smart, but then he sees the mouse start to get dumber, and then he realizes he's like, oh, that's going to happen to me. And then he starts to get dumber. And so that feels like the life that I'm living these days. Um, but I decided to come back to Rip Say Retro because I was like, okay, screw it. Like, if I've got a certain amount of years or whatever, where I'm at least going to still be somewhat entertaining and witty and things like that, like, I would much rather do that than not feel 100% of my old self and be disappointed and things like that. And I was just like, screw it. Let's just make videos again and have fun. So here I am. So, but yeah, Autograph. It's been 2 years. It's kind of crazy. Um, Probably the last thing that I did on the channel of any substance that I really, really enjoyed was the PSA. That was probably my favorite thing. That was like my masterpiece on the channel. You can find it in the history if you've never seen it before. It was back when we were really not good, and yeah, a lot of you guys seem to like that. So that touched my heart when I wasn't making videos anymore, and I would go back and read those comments, and it was so great. So yeah, Autograph. It's been 2 years, but we're back, or I'm back as much as I can be back. But thank you. Yeah, it's been 2 years. Crazy. Um, let's see. Hang on. Hang on. It's a little hard for me to see. AJ Poseidon said, great episode. Thanks, AJ. I appreciate that. Let's move on to Zach Landia. Zach Landia, what's up, Zach? Zach said, wake up, babe. The goats just dropped a new podcast episode. Zach, that really made me chuckle when I saw that. I thought about you and so many other people. I'm not going to name them, because what I end up doing is I name like 5 or 6 people, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I forgot this person, and I feel so bad. But Zach, you were definitely one of the ones that I was definitely looking forward to seeing back on the channel again. So I'm so happy that you're here. Thanks for the comment. I'm glad you really liked it. And thanks for the goat talk. You guys, like, there are a few people who started calling me the goat, and either one of two things are going to happen. Like, all this talk is going to go to my head, which is fine because there's room in there. So, I mean, you can run around in there. But also, I may reach a point where I think I am a goat, where I just start, yeah, like that may be the channel. in like a year. Um, so I mean, call me that at your own peril. Thanks, Zach. Alex Wolf, my buddy Alex Wolf, said in the comments, "Great job as always, my friends. We are so back." Alex Wolf, for those of you who do not know, is a robot. He never sleeps. And you may see him at an NBA arena near you because Alex has this map where he's going to every arena in the NBA. And it's so cool. He was just at Atlanta tonight. I'm doing this episode Thursday night. So he went to see, what was it, Atlanta and Houston. So he got to see KD play in person tonight. So what's up, Alex? Uh, One of my really good friends, quite frankly, Alex Wolf, he texts me all the time. And when I say all the time, I mean all the time. Like it can be like 4 in the morning, and he's just like, "Look at this meme." It's unbelievable. Daniel Schlomberg, what's up, Daniel? Another one of my favorites. He said, "Heck yeah, Rich is back. Let's go." Thanks, Daniel. It's good to see you too. Trevor Schindler. Oh my gosh, this is like family reunion time. Trevor said, "Welcome back, buddy." Well, thank you, Trevor. What's going on? How's your woman? I know that's a really inappropriate sounding question, but I just remember you talking about your girlfriend 2.5 years ago, stuff like that. So how is she? Hopefully she's still around. Hopefully you're still around. But let me know. But I hope things are going great for you and for her. And if she's not in the picture anymore, I hope it's not going great for her. Okay? You don't need her. All right? Trevor, you listen to me. You don't need her. Okay? You are fine. You have a great head of hair. You have your own car. Okay? So you don't need her. Now, if you're engaged and married to her now, she's wonderful. Okay? So just let me know so I know exactly which way to go. All right? Next up is Mariner Baseball 4 said, "Welcome back, GOAT." See, this is the kind of talk that is going to get me in trouble. I'm just going to be eating tin cans on the channel in no time. Um, Yaniv Reef, I hope I'm saying that right, said, "Great show, guys. Enjoyed it very much." Thank you so much, Yanni. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Eric did an amazing job putting that list together, and it made things so easy for me to just kind of step in and give my opinion and talk with Eric. And I just love Eric. He's such a great guy, and so yeah, I mean, all the praise and thanks for the episode goes to Eric because trust me, if you guys saw the episode that I shot yesterday, it will never see the light of day. I've deleted it. Don't even ask. But it was tragic. So that's why I've got notes down here and the whole thing. So, okay. So DJ Inkosi, that cannot be right, but DJ Inkosi said, "Welcome back. Here's to continued health and recovery. God bless." Well, I certainly agree with the last point. God bless. God bless you too, DJ. I don't know about continued health, but I appreciate the sentiment. So thank you so much. Colonel Pancakes. What's up, Colonel Pancakes? He put the 58-second mark of the last video. He said LMAO. So the 58-second mark of the last video was either, I've got here, the end of the Tyler Hero es muy bueno moment, um, which some Miami fans got upset at me about for, by the way. And then, don't worry, they're gone. They kind of they kind of came around, and like they basically looked at us like 2.5 years ago. They were like, "You gonna finish that?" And then we traded Dame, and then they took off. But so you're either commenting on that moment or the fake press conference that I did when I was sitting next to Joe Cronin. I love that. I love that opening too. That opening was great. So it's good to see you, Colonel Pancakes. I remember when you were just a captain. Dallas YT said, "Glad to see another video. Hoping for better days ahead for you." Thank you so much. That's really nice, Dallas. I really appreciate that. Jolie Dandy. Jolie Dandy said, "Missed you so much, Rich." Jolie, come on. Did somebody miss me so much? Missed you so much, Rich. Love the way you talk about the Blazers. You have a spark, and I enjoy listening to you. Thank you so much. Gosh, that's such a nice comment. I really appreciate that. This is just me. I mean, granted, I'm different because of the brain injury now because I ramble badly. And when you guys met me when the channel first started, I was starting this. Like I was starting to get bad at rambling because the brain injury was just kicking in. But um, I've always been energetic. I've always been talkative. Always loved the Blazers. I'm now on year 38 of loving the Blazers now. So yeah, I mean, this is just me. So I mean, I'm glad you like it, but this is just me being my authentic self. So Dude Ranch Above the Sea said, "Good on you for getting back on that horse and burning it." Dude Ranch, um, I mean, thank you for the compliment about getting back on that horse. I don't know about burning the horse. We may have got our metaphors mixed up there, but I am definitely trying to get back on the horse, so thank you. Patriot 904 said, "I can't believe it's been over 2 years. Wow. Happy you were back." Thank you, Patriot. I really appreciate that. Does that mean you're a New England Patriots fan? Um, Here's my prediction for the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's my prediction. I'm not looking forward to it, but I will watch. Autograph 415 said, oh, he was responding to his comment about 2 years. Autograph said, same about can't believe it's been 2 years. For some reason, it feels like it's only been a year. Maybe since I've seen him hop in stream chat here and there. Yeah, I'm over there on Blazers Uprise every now and then. Sometimes I'll hop into their chat and I'll just say hi to everybody because it's too it's too confusing and I get too tired too quickly trying to read the live chat over there. So sometimes I'll just hop in and say hello, hope everybody's doing well, and then I jet out. But yeah, it legitimately has been over 2 years. So um, ums 17 just said welcome back. Thank you, ums. Uh, DJ in Kosi said best intros in the game. Thanks. My intros are there's something that I tried to do to entertain you guys, and then I started thinking, I was like, oh, it's all kind of downhill after that, after the intros. That's maybe not a good way to do a show. But I always try to use the intros to make you guys laugh. You know what's crazy? I have lost so many of the intros. Like they're just gone. Like I was trying to go through an external hard drive the other day and I could not find them. Now I may have put them somewhere, like again, like a grandma, like just put them in a book somewhere or something. But I can't I'm missing many. I'm missing like GM Joe. He alienated Zero. I'm missing um like just a bunch that I really really enjoyed. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I got to try and find those things. I don't think I trashed them, but I can't find them yet. But I'm glad you like the intros. Daniel TG3 said, "Awesome. If this is you at not 100% full power and you still had knowledge and super fast wit." This really touched my heart when I read this the first time. Thank you, Daniel. You know, one thing that I have noticed is with adrenaline, I can kind of, with the exception of the rambling, I can kind of function at my old capacity, but then I'm wiped out. Like after I film today's episode, like even if I just go for like 30 minutes or so today, I'm going to be really wiped out from this. And I'll probably be tired tomorrow. And that just wasn't me before. Even when Eric and I started doing videos, like, we would talk for kind of long periods of time. I'd be a little tired, but it really started to kick in like during that summer. And sometimes they talk about with brain injury, like, it can be like 6 to 9 months before you really start to notice the effects because your brain tries to overcompensate for a while. And then eventually it's just like, oh, all right, we're broke. But but thank you so much for the comment. I mean, I've always um I've always thought that being funny and having a fast wit was a virtue growing up, and so I always tried to be like the quick-witted kid and stuff like that. So thank you for your comment. I really appreciate that. Um Galadmore 5500 said, great show. Give us one realistic trade target for the team to become contenders next year with Dame returning. Okay, realistic in terms of, I'll give you two. Giannis. I mean, obviously, and the reason I'm calling him realistic is we have the stuff they want. Now, there's so many other factors that are going to play into that. So, do I think Mikal Bridges could be a trade target that helps us become contenders next year? I don't know about that. I mean, I think Mikal Bridges would make us better, but I don't know. I don't know at what cost. So I'm kind of cheating with this answer, but that's going to be my answer to that. Autograph just called me Uncle Rich. Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, not like your creepy uncle, but just kind of like, you know, your uncle that's just kind of off to the side staring into space. Like that. Um, let's see. This person is Baron Family Adventures said the Blazers did. Oh, so he's talking about when DeAndre Ayton was trapped in his house from all the ice that one particular game. He said the Blazers did send some people, staff, out to his house when he was iced in. It was said pretty publicly before the game, too. To be fair, the Portland area doesn't usually get ice storms like that either, um, ever. And then he goes on to say, I grew up in Portland from 1986 to 2001. Oh, man, that's a crazy good era to grow up in. Um, and then in Vancouver before and after that time. I remember a few pretty big snowstorms, but not ice storms. Yeah, I mean, I'm originally from West Virginia, of all places. And I remember growing up in West Virginia, I mean, we would have feet of snow. And the snow wasn't really the problem. It was always the ice that you had to look out for. So, and there are a ton of jokes. I hear you. I hear them all. Very funny. Um, but uh, if you're out there dealing with all the snow and all the crazy weather, like I hope you're being safe out there. To all the people that may see this on the East Coast. But let's move on to David K. 92. And David K. 92 is the real MVP. So just like Katie's mom. So he went and did the timestamps for all of the topics that we did the other day, which was just amazing. David, thank you so much. And then I copied it and put it in the body of the video. I will try in the big long videos that Eric and I do together. I'll try to do this myself. But David, if you ever want to jump in and do this, I mean, after doing something like that, my gosh, man, like when I get to a point of doing live episodes and stuff like that, if you ever want to be a mod, or something like that, I mean, that would be great. But thank you so much for doing that. That took a lot of work, so I really appreciate that. And I know other people appreciated it too. Um, let's go to Shlomitzi84, who said, Denny is awesome, does not bow his head to haters. Yeah, I kind of touched on that the other day. I don't want to get into a lot of that because I just feel like the internet is so negative and stuff like that. But like, I've seen some Denny hate, and it's kind of like unfair, I think. I haven't really heard Denny say a lot of stuff that I think is like ugly or mean or anything like that. So I just want to appreciate Denny as a player and so grateful that we've got a tough guy like that who has a lot of moxie and isn't afraid to, drive to the basket. And I never thought he would be this good. I know that I said that with Eric the other day, but he's great to watch play. I just hope he continues to take care of that back because man, there's a big difference between Denny's back and then Denny's back. Like the two very different meanings. Poster Match Country School said, De ort niet tot sweet de poor. I have no idea what that means, and forgive the Nordic accent for it. You said something here later, so I'll get to that in a second. Dark Devil 1669 said, how about Miles Turner for Dame? Bucks GM Horst is a whack job. It was insanity. Yeah, I never understood that. I never understood. I mean, well, quite frankly, I didn't understand stretching Dame. But then to appease Giannis, they went out and got Miles Turner? Like, it never made sense to me. And apparently not to Giannis. Poster Match Country School said, Portland lost to the East Side. Why is that? Well, Poster Match Country School, I agree with you that the West Side is the best side. Um, Portland lost to the East Side. Why is that? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. You might be talking about the game against Boston or the game against the Wizards or maybe both games. Um, I mean, you know why. Like, Denny didn't play in the first game, and then in the second game, they just kind of slopped around and can't handle success. We can't have nice things. And, we let an inferior team kind of hang around. And, or Alex Sarr had an unbelievable game. So there you go. Chadave997 said, timestamps, please. Chadave, David K has got your back, and he took care of that for you. DC Yang 1977 said, read about sociopaths. Now, he was talking about Chauncey here. And when we were talking about Chauncey in the last episode, he said, read about sociopaths, narcissistic behavior, and psychopaths. Human psychology is a big factor as well. Everyone likes this kind of person. Sales politicians, etc. In the end, they fool you. You are avoiding talking about this if you have any life experience. So he was referring to the conversation that Eric and I had about Chauncey Billups and how Eric brought this up about how everybody talks about how much they love Chauncey. The media was always talking about, players would run through a brick wall for Chauncey, so on and so forth. And it always seemed like he was very popular in the league. I mean, I mentioned it in the last episode. I love Chauncey Billups as a player. And what I was trying to do was look at the possibility that maybe Chauncey got to this place where he was allegedly participating in these rigged poker games. Maybe he got himself in a little bit too deep. And then these 5, mafia families apparently were tied into these games. Chauncey started attending these games, and it just kind of snowballed. And I think looking at life, and I mean, maybe this is because where I'm at in life, age-wise, health-wise, stuff like that. But I just look at things as like, it's very simple for us to just go, well, that person's evil. That person's a bad person. That person's a bad guy. And we do this politically all the time, right? And there's something about it that is a little, I don't want to say lazy, but for lack of a better term, let's just use lazy. It's a little lazy to be able to just say, well, this person's just clearly a horrible person. And I mean, obviously, like if you see, stuff with kids, mistreatment of animals, like there are some things that are just universally like, okay, well, that's bad. And I'm not saying that fixing poker games is not bad, but in terms of how does somebody get to that point, I think it's much more productive and a cautionary tale to look at someone and really try to figure out the machinations of how they got to that point, as opposed to just thinking, well, they're just bad and they were fooling everybody and so on and so forth. Sometimes that's true, but sometimes people they come to different crossroads in life and they just keep making the wrong decision. And then they end up in a bad place. And they're still responsible for that bad place. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make excuses for Chauncey or anything like that. Like, they're responsible for where they end up. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit more healthier to look at it that way. And it also helps keep us on the straight and narrow and be humble and be like, okay, well, a few bad decisions on my part, and maybe you wouldn't end up there, but you could end up in a place that you wouldn't be proud of, by making the wrong decisions. So that was the point that I was really trying to make about that, but definitely not anything to do with him not taking accountability or anything like that. And then he had another comment. I jokingly asked, I said, are we talking about Chauncey being a sociopath, or are we talking about me? And then he said, Chauncey. He said, you make good points from your life experience that he may be blackmailed or other motivations to attend these events, but Chauncey is no victim here. Yeah, I totally agree. There are books talking about the fine line and crossing that line in regards to those behaviors I mentioned in my original comment. Yeah, I mean, we totally agree on that. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to say than that. Definitely, he is responsible for his own actions, and we will see what shakes out about this legally. Um, DC Yang 1977 said, "Oh, he's definitely responsible for his actions." Oh, this is me. I'm reading my words. How egotistical is this of me? And I just said the same thing. I said he's definitely responsible for his actions. I was attempting to be charitable in that moment, blah, 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 blah. And that actually is all of your guys' comments on the previous video. So again, you guys can help me create this show. I want this to be your show. Like I said, there's going to be channels that do a better job analyzing the Blazers, better job giving you trade targets, better job recapping games and things like that. And that's okay. I don't have to be the best at that stuff. I just want to be the best at being myself and being here for you guys as Blazer fans. And you tell me what you want to see and what you want me to talk about here on the channel. So this is really your channel. So before we leave today, I thought, just for old time's sake, that I would go ahead and throw back to a very memorable moment for the Blazers. You're going to remember this. It's .9. Yeah, that's right. The .9 buzzer beater that we all love. Go ahead and play it.
They either score or we go to OT.
Keep an eye on
stand by network station.
Keep an eye on Harvey Grant. Looks like it's set for him.
Mark Bryant on an inbound play. Who's going to break out? It's Drexler. Turns around, puts it up. It's yes! Score the basket! He scores at the horn. Clyde Drexler. An off-balance shot at the buzzer. 9/10 of a second. He is being mobbed by his teammates. Listen to the crowd. Blazers win. Blazers win. Blazers win. 106-103.
Ah, gotcha. See, you thought I was talking about the Dame shot, but no. Before Clyde Drexler got traded in 1995, he hit that buzzer beater to beat the Milwaukee Bucks, and he would go on to be traded a little bit later that season. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Clyde's last buzzer beater as a Blazer. And he did it with .9, just a fling at the basket. It's so much fun to see him laughing and see Terry Porter in street clothes. I think he was in street clothes, laughing, walking off the court. Chris Dudley, you see Sean Lee standing up and stuff like that. So it's just, it's a great moment. I thought I would just play that here. It involves the Blazers. It involves the Bucks. Maybe? No? Okay. Yeah, we all know that's probably not going to happen. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Eric Brandt and I will put our heads together, and then we'll have one head that works. And we'll figure out what we want to do for an episode. But the Blazers play the New York Knicks on Friday night. And I'm sure the Knicks will be like just blowing kisses at us and please facilitate, please. And I really hope that we just say no. But we'll see. So in the meantime, please click like, share, subscribe to this crappy channel. Click like on the video. If you want to help out, you know where you can. And it's just really nice to be back with you guys. I'm so glad you did not get the previous episode that I taped and then deleted forevermore, because it was really crappy, and that's why we have notes now. But anyway, it's good to see you guys, and I won't see you until next week, so have a wonderful weekend, be safe, have fun, and until next time, go Blazers.